This video, we got the greatest NBA seasons that didn't win MVP. Let's get into it. Of course, they got Jokic up here. Of course,
one player gets to take home the MVP trophy. But sometimes the greatest seasons in NBA
I'm expecting
history
Jokic
don't win anything. This is the 10 best NBA seasons that never won an MVP. Tracy McGrady. In 2003, T-Mac was on a completely different level. That season with
Magic
Orlando,
T-Mac.
he averaged 32.1 points, 6.5 rebounds, and 5.5 assists a night. He won the scoring title with ease, but those numbers don't really tell the whole story. Every single night, he was the only thing standing between the magic and irrelevance. The roster was banged up and lacking star power, and at times it felt like he was going 1-on-5 just to keep them afloat. There was a stretch late in the season where he scored 40 or more in 5 straight games, including a 52-point explosion against the Bulls. He looked like the most unguardable player alive. And yet, when it came time to crown an MVP, voters gave it to Tim Duncan, who led the Spurs to 60 wins and another top seed. Duncan was incredible, no doubt, but for fans watching night after night, there was this feeling that T-Mac was doing something even more impressive by carrying a team with almost no help into the playoffs purely on talent and willpower. That season is still one of the biggest what-ifs in NBA history. What if he had another superstar? What if injuries didn't derail his career? Because for that one season,
that's really what it was. It was the injuries.
Future of basketball, and it's almost unthinkable that he didn't walk away with MVP.
Yeah.
Charles Barkley.
Damn, bro, he averaged 32.1 points, 6 rebounds. Bro, he should have won MVP. God damn, it was cooking.
By 1990, Charles Barkley was a force of nature. That season, he averaged 25.2 points, 11.5 rebounds, and 3.9 assists, shooting an absurd 60% from the field. He carried the 76ers to a surprising 53 wins, securing the 2nd seed in the Eastern Conference. He was everywhere, snatching rebounds, muscling through contact, and leading fast breaks. Many considered it the peak of his early career, arguing he was the most unstoppable player in the league at the time. Despite his dominance, MVP voters gave the award to Magic Johnson, whose Lakers won 63 games. Magic was spectacular, but many felt Barkley had single-handedly dragged a less talented 76ers roster further than anyone expected. Even decades later, Barkley himself has said that 1990 was the best he ever played, yet it's remembered as a season where the numbers screamed MVP, but the trophy found a different home. A testament to Barkley's unparalleled force and the
Barkley doing passes like that?
A different home. A testament to Barkley's unparalleled force and the subjective nature of MVP voting. Nikola Jokic. After winning back-to-back MVPs, he entered the 2022-23 season.
Yeah, I always do Charles Barkley, like, you know, he always had that one demon-eyed season, you feel what I'm saying? I already knew about that, but I didn't know he played that good to the point where he could have won MVP. I ain't know that.
History. Winning a 3rd straight MVP would have placed him in an exclusive club with Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, and Larry Bird. His play was every bit worth Russell. Winning a 3rd straight MVP would have placed him in an exclusive club with Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, and Larry Bird. His play
Larry Bird had 3 MVPs.
As he averaged 24.5 points, 11.8 rebounds, and 9.8 assists, nearly a triple-double, while shooting a ridiculous 63% from the field.
Yeah, you just gotta remind me of this shot, bro. You just have to. You gotta remind me of this shot, huh? You gotta remind me of this shot, bro. I tried to erase this from my memories, and you bringing it back up, bro. Are you serious? Are you serious? Bro, just look at the defensive possession on this shot.
A triple-double.
This is clamped. This is clamped, bro. This is clamped.
Shooting a ridiculous...
This not no Dame Lillard or Paul George for the game winner, bro. No, this is actually clamped, bro. It's not even a good shot.
% from the field.
And he makes it.
In typical Jokic fashion, his advanced
and that's not even the first time he did it again.
Off the charts.
Look at this.
His PER and win shares ranked among the best individual seasons of all time. On top of that, the Nuggets finished 1st in the Western Conference for the first time in franchise history. But when it came time to vote, the award went to Joel
Oh.
Embiid, who also...
Oh, yeah, I remember this, bro. But at the same time, I'm not gonna lie, we let this slide because the year before Jokic had won MVP, and that should have went to Joel Embiid. So we let this slide because Joel Embiid should have won the year before, but they gave it to Jokic. So the year after, Jokic should have won, but they gave it to Embiid. That's why we low-key let that slide. I don't know what the NBA be thinking sometimes when they give MVP away, because I feel like sometimes they don't even know the true definition of it. But, hey, bro. We let this slide, though.
A significant factor was mounting voter fatigue against Jokic after his consecutive wins, which tipped the narrative in Embiid's favor. The ultimate irony? After losing the MVP, he absolutely rampaged through the playoffs, averaging a triple-double and leading Denver to its first ever NBA championship. His postseason run proved what the regular season voters missed, that Nikola Jokic might already be one of the most valuable players in NBA history. Steph Curry.
He
When
is.
the 2020 to 21
Without a doubt,
season
he definitely
tipped off,
is.
the Warriors were in shambles. Klay was out with another injury, KD was gone, and the dynasty felt like a distant memory. But Steph wasn't done. That year, he delivered a masterclass, reminding everyone why he's the greatest shooter to ever play the game. He averaged an astonishing 32 points per game, taking home the scoring title and knocked down
Yeah, he
an
should have won
absurd
MVP this year, I agree.
337 threes.
What was
He
this, like,
single-handedly
2021,
carried the depleted
2022?
Golden State team to 39 wins, nearly dragging them into the playoffs despite every opposing defense selling out just to stop him. But MVP voters ultimately rewarded Nikola Jokic, whose Nuggets finished with a much better record. Many analysts believe that no single player carried a heavier offensive burden or faced more defensive attention than Curry that year. It was Steph's ultimate reminder season, a year where without championships or a super team, he demonstrated his ability to bend the entire league to his will. Magic Johnson. In 1989, Magic was still the undeniable beating heart of the Showtime Lakers. Even as Kareem's career wound down, Magic elevated his game to keep Los Angeles squarely at the top of the Western Conference. That season, he put up a truly spectacular all-around stat line. He averaged 22.5 points, 12.8 assists, and 7.9 rebounds, which was one of the best statistical campaigns of his career. He guided the Lakers to 57 wins, secured the top seed, and orchestrated their iconic fast-paced offense with unmatched vision and flair. Despite being the clear leader of one of the league's premier teams, the MVP award went to Michael Jordan. He had a statistically incredible season, averaging 32.5 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, and 2.9 steals.
I don't think that was a steal, bro. I'm gonna keep it a buck, bro. Yeah, Magic Johnson, he averaged like 12 assists. I understand that, but it's not that far. It's not that far away from Jordan's stats, if I'm gonna be honest. I mean, I kind of agree with the Jordan MVP take over Magic. I kind of agree. You know what I'm saying? The guy averaged 32 points, 8 rebounds, and 8. Like, come on, man. I mean, yeah, Magic had 12, bro, but bro, Jordan averaged 32 points along with the 8 rebounds and 8 assists, bro. Like, come on. Let's be honest here, man.
As the MVP runner-up, even while leading his team to another NBA Finals appearance and maintaining his elite play. For many
Don't get me wrong, I love Magic
1989
Johnson,
remains
bro,
one of the most underappreciated seasons of Magic's career, a clear MVP-level campaign overshadowed by the irresistible rise of Jordan's individual dominance. Damian Lillard. The 2019 to 2020 season was absolutely brutal for the Blazers. Injuries piled up, their depth vanished, and the Blazers seemed destined to slip out of playoff contention. Until Dame decided he had other plans. He averaged 30 points and 8 assists for the season, but it was his ridiculous late-season explosion in the Orlando bubble that truly defined his year. In those high-stakes seeding games, he dropped 51, 61, and 42 points in 3 consecutive
Everybody was hooping in the bubble,
single-handedly dragging Portland into the postseason. But MVP voting ultimately rewarded Giannis Antetokounmpo, whose Bucks dominated the regular season. Lillard's incredible late-season heroics weren't enough to overcome Portland's relatively mediocre
Once
overall
again,
record.
this season right here, I agree with Giannis being MVP. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I agree with Giannis being MVP over Dame. That it might just be me. It might just be me, bro.
Still, that season became a defining chapter in the Dame Time lore. His bubble performance alone stands as one of the most valuable individual stretches in recent memory. Allen Iverson.
You can debate that this man, Donovan Mitchell, had a better bubble performance than Dame. You can honestly debate that. So I don't know about Dame being MVP because of that.
2006, AI had already cemented himself as one of the toughest pound-for-pound players in NBA history. But this season was different. It was one of those years where every single night felt like Iverson was carrying the weight of an entire franchise on his back. At 33 points, 7.4 assists, and 2 steals per game, he wasn't just scoring, he was doing everything. He also led the NBA in minutes played, and defensively, despite being undersized, he was still hounding ball handlers, jumping passing lanes, and giving Philly any chance they had to win. What made it even more insane was the lack of help around him. The Sixers didn't have another reliable star. Night after night, defenses trapped him, blitzed him off screens, and dared anyone else to beat them. Meanwhile, in Phoenix, Steve Nash was putting on an offensive clinic with the 7 seconds or less Suns, leading them to one of the top records in the league. Nash deserved this MVP, but the context was wildly different.
Bro.
He had Amari Stoudemire, Sean Marion, and a roster perfectly tailored to his skill set. AI had barely anyone.
This MVP should have been Allen Iverson.
Fans still argue that 2006 was one of the most valuable seasons of his career. He was the Sixers' heartbeat, their identity, and their only shot to compete in a stacked Eastern Conference.
Literally.
Even without the trophy,
he was the
that
Sixers.
Season stands as one of AI's ultimate "I'll-do-it-myself" campaigns. Russell
Bro, my
Westbrook.
man AI was
When people
the
talk
Sixers,
about
bro.
Russell Westbrook's MVP,
He should have been
year
MVP
in
without a doubt.
2017, they always mention the triple doubles, the final carried OKC after KD left.
OKC Westbrook
But the
was
truth
something
is,
else,
Russ had another MVP caliber season before that, a year that feels almost forgotten now. In 2014 to 15, OKC's season was chaotic, to say the least. KD missed most of the year with a foot injury, Serge Ibaka went down, and suddenly it was just Russ against the world. He averaged 28.1 points, 8.6 assists, and 7.3 rebounds per game. He led the league in scoring and did it while shouldering one of the highest usage rates we've ever seen. He had nights where he dropped 40 and even a career-high 54 points against the Pacers. He played with that trademark with unrelenting
Man was looking like the greatest point guard of all
in
time.
February where he recorded 4 triple-doubles in a row, something that hadn't been done in decades. He even played through a broken face at one point, rocking a mask and still dominating. Despite all of that, despite dragging a battered Thunder team to 45 wins and keeping them in the playoff race until the final day, the MVP went to Steph. Steph led the Warriors to 67 wins and revolutionized the game with his shooting, so voters sided with team success over raw individual impact.
They should not have gave Steph that MVP over Westbrook, bro.
Anyone who watched Russ that year, it felt like he was doing the impossible. Night after night, he refused to let the Thunder sink, putting up video game numbers and playing with a level of intensity that few players in history
Russ got robbed out of this,
It was
bro.
one of the most
I understand Stephen Curry did a lot
seen,
to basketball at this time, bro, but come on. You just can't ignore what Westbrook was doing to basketball also.
The year after Shaq's dominant MVP run in 2000, he somehow got even better. In 2000 to 2001, Shaq averaged 28.7 points, 12.7 rebounds, 3.7 assists, and nearly 3 blocks per game, while shooting over 57% from the field. He was an unstoppable force inside.
Oh my God!
The Lakers were coming off a championship, and he was the centerpiece of everything they did, offensively and defensively.
Give me that!
But when the MVP voting came around, the trophy went to Allen Iverson, who led the Sixers to the East's best record and had an incredible season of his own.
Nah, this should have been AI,
scoring
bro.
an underdog narrative.
I'm not even being biased.
Still,
I'm from
many
Virginia,
argued
bro.
that Shaq
I'm just
was
keeping it
simply
above,
the most
bro. It should've
dominant
been
player
AI.
alive.
I
When the
love Shaq,
playoffs
bro.
arrived, that argument
Shaq in my
only
top
got
5, but bro,
louder.
this should have been AI.
Shaq
bro. Come on.
absolutely destroyed opponents en route to another championship. Looking back
Bro.
now, it's clear. Iverson had the story, but Shaq had the impact. 2001 was another MVP-level campaign from the most unstoppable physical force the game has ever seen. And somehow, it didn't come with a trophy. Kevin Garnett. By 2003, KG had been dominating the league for nearly a decade, but this was the year he truly became a complete monster on both ends of the floor. He averaged 23 points, 13.4 rebounds, 6 assists, 1.4 steals, and 1.6 blocks per game. Numbers that barely even capture his impact. He relentlessly
his
helped
prime.
carry them to 51 wins in a loaded Western Conference. But that season's MVP voting was a war zone. Tim Duncan, Tracy McGrady, Kobe, and Shaq were all in the mix. Duncan ultimately won it again, T-Mac finished second, and Garnett landed in third despite being the most versatile and well-rounded player in the league that year. Looking back, it feels like KG's greatness was almost too advanced for voters at the time. His defense didn't show up in the box score the same way his scoring did, and his playmaking as a big man wasn't fully appreciated yet. With the way the game has evolved, a season like Garnett's in 2003 might win MVP without question. Even without the trophy, that year was a defining chapter in KG's career. A season where he cemented himself as one of the most complete players the NBA had ever seen.
I remember. Yes,
Every
that is true. That is true. Kevin Garnett was doing almost everything on the floor. His defense was supreme elite. His offense was looking elite. As you can hear, the guy just said he was averaging almost 25 points a game. He was making play. He had decent playmaking. He was making good passes. You know what I'm saying? His playmaking wasn't bad at all. Like, bro, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Kevin Garnett, he was doing it all, bro. Damn near, he was doing it all.
NBA season has its MVP, but the hardware doesn't always tell the whole story.
Well, Tim Duncan had an
Maybe that's
insane
the
season
point.
too, though.
An MVP award is about a single vote, but a legacy is bigger than that. It's those unforgettable seasons, the ones people talk about decades later and point to when they argue who really meant the most to their team. Because the greatest seasons in NBA history aren't just defined by a trophy, they're defined by the moments that we just can't forget. And if you love breaking
That's the
down
shot
these
I was
kinds
talking
of
about.
moments and exploring deeper stories, make sure to hit that like button and
Bro.
subscribe to the channel.
This is a good video,
Off
man.
season.
Good video, man. Nice facts that was put in here. But I'm going to catch y'all next video. And I'm out, man. Peace.